First off, welcome back to the Vibes with Step podcast. I hope the audience out there is doing very well tonight, today, this morning, this afternoon. It's all the same. So, I got a good friend of mine here, Matt,
What's up?
Mr. Reeves. Yes, the one and only. But nah,
not the one and
yeah,
only,
nah, the
because
one.
there's also the director.
I was thinking about that. I was gonna make a joke about that, but I was like, I don't want to confuse people. So,
Oh,
uh,
it's fine. I get it all the time.
yeah, but dude, let's uh, let's just shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I was just I took a nap and I was thinking about the ocean and how scary it is. And dude, do you swim?
I do. I actually
Yeah.
learned how to swim in like first grade, I think.
Holy shit.
The school I went to at the end of the year, we would take a week to go do swimming lessons.
Yeah.
Which was nice. But yeah, dude, I've always had that like fear of deep water,
Yeah.
you know. 'Cause going to the beach, there could be sharks. You watch Jaws, and then you just go for a
Mhm.
swim at the beach, and you're just always looking over your shoulder, thinking you're gonna see a fin. But
Yeah.
the real thing that would really scare me is going down in a submarine. Would you
Oh
ever do that?
man. Nah. Honestly, I think about deep sea diving sometimes. I put that on my vision board. I want to do that, but I never thought
Yeah.
about a submarine. That's a different story right there.
Just
You ever
going down where it's like pitch black and you've got
dude.
a light and you're just seeing all sorts of weird looking things swimming down there.
Dude,
Ugh.
hell no. Man, I watched this movie. I forgot what shark movie it was called. It came out like I think 2, 3 years ago, something like that. Where these chicks went deep sea diving and they went in this shark tank and the tank went down in the water not too far and then like the wire thing broke on it and then
Oh,
the cage just kind of sunk down and they just kept going and going and going and then they hit ground and it made me think about that sometimes when I think about shark tank diving or even deep sea diving. I don't want to get stuck in the ocean. And let it be
no way.
clear and let it be clear I don't have a fear of the ocean. Like I grew up going to the beach. My dad has a picture which I gotta get from him. I want it. But there's a picture of me and him at the beach looking out into the ocean. And I don't think it was planned. I was a real like baby. He was holding me and I was just looking out there and I guess he was showing me the ocean, but I want that picture. So like I grew up going to the beach. I grew up going to the pool, with my sister and my friends and shit like that. I actually learned how to swim with them. They used to sometimes just like throw me in the pool, and I had to learn. It was like you either sink or you swim.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I don't know what it is. I guess it's more of I guess the older you get this conscious feeling that you could die, in certain situations like that. So I'm more aware of my survival chances if I go to the beach and I actually swim in that water. Underwater currents could get you. A stingray, a shark,
Yeah.
like you said, a shark could get you. Uh, Anything could happen out there in the water. Some shit. People know how to swim, yet they drown. Anything could happen. A
Yeah.
wave. It's I don't know. It's at that age. I'm 28, and at that age, I think about stuff like that. So even though I can go to the beach and have a good time, I won't get in the water. I'll sit in the sand and I will get a tan. Remember that, people. Sit in the sand and get a tan. That's all I do. But
Yeah, it's funny. Well, you mentioned like three things that got me thinking. First of all, sharks are actually like one of my greatest fears.
no
I
kidding.
think like sharks, because I mean, dude, sharks are literally a horror creature. Everything about sharks, those just completely black eyes, the rows of fangs they're all sharp. Like there's just something out of a nightmare. Um, but yeah, also funny story when I was a kid, because I've always like been in the water. That's just something I was exposed to when I was really young. And my parents got me this like swimming suit that it was this little like nasty orange color, and it had an inner tube like sewed into the suit. So it had like a almost a sleeve that the inner tube fit into, and it went around the waist. So when I put it on, I could literally just sit in the water and float. And I think I was like 3 at the time. And the first time they brought me out to the pool with it, they said I just booked it and dove straight into the pool. And they like went into a state of panic, and then they saw I immediately floated and was fine. Like, oh, he's okay. So apparently I've always loved the water.
Yeah.
But the other thing you're saying too that really got me thinking is that whole survival thing. Like, I think we all kind of grow up with this intrinsic sense of invincibility, like, like driving super crazy and thinking, oh, I'm not going to get in a car wreck. That happens to other people, and then you get older and, accidents happen and you lose people in your life, and things start happening that make you really think, I actually could die. I should probably be more careful,
Exactly. I agree. I don't know much on that point. I don't know. You just grow up as a kid and you think you're a rebel. You think, anything is possible. I remember when I was in middle school, I think I was in 8th grade. I was on my way to going to 9th grade, and my stepmom took me to the beach with my stepbrother. I forgot what he was doing. I know I was on my own. I usually like to be on my own when I was at the beach. I like to just kind of go out and swim. And I remember a storm was on the way, and the skies were very gray. The wind was kicking up. The waves were nice. I used to like that, the big waves. I'd be right there just getting hit by them and having a good time. I never thought about underwater currents. I never even knew that was a thing when I was, like around that time, 13, 14 years old. You couldn't tell me shit about an underwater current. I just wanted to go have fun. But I remember I was deep out. I was just kind of, just walking. I wasn't like super far out to the point where I couldn't touch the ground. I was still touching the ground, so clearly I was close enough to the shore, but I was far out. A little bit further, I would have been touching blue water, but I remember I felt a pinch on my toe, and it hurt, but it was more of a sense of danger in my mind, not like pain, more so like, oh snap, I gotta get out this water, I might be bleeding. I thought I was bleeding, yo. I was like, because the first thing that came to mind is if something cut me open and there's blood in the water, I gotta go because it might be sharks. And I was I was far enough to where like that could have been a reality for me. So I was dead ass booking it. I turned around and started swimming. I was panicking. I ran out that water. Come to find out, it was a crab. You know what I'm saying? It was a crab.
That's what I thought.
It snubbed me right on my big toe because I stepped on it. And I didn't have anything on my toe, like nothing. I wasn't bleeding or nothing like that. It was just a pinch out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take that chance, and just be like, I'm going to brush it off. And then I'm actually bleeding in the water or something like that. Because I don't know. Like, you gotta help me on that. Is that, like, really a thing? Because I heard that sharks smell blood from a certain, distance away. So is it a chance that my toe could have actually bled enough to where a shark could have found me and took me under?
I mean, I'm sure a shark would have to be close enough for that to be possible, but I wouldn't rule it out. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've never really looked into it. Shark smelling blood. I've heard that too. I've never really looked into it, but that's a pretty horrifying thought.
Yeah.
To think of something tracking you down as you're bleeding in the water.
Because you got to think about how fast that could happen if it is the case. Let's say my toe was bleeding, I kind of just brushed it off. It was just a little bit of blood. How much blood does it take for a shark to smell it from far away like that? Yeah. 2, how much time do I have in between me getting to shore and that shark? It's equal distance from me to the shore and that shark to me. How fast or how much time do I have until that shark gets to me before I can even get halfway to shore? because they can
Oh
swim
man.
and I can't swim that fast. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, they can swim way faster than we can. So I don't think
Exactly.
if it's the same distance both ways, I think you're screwed.
Yeah, I think
You're
so.
shark bait. And that's the
Yeah,
other thing too, man. Like you're not in your element. You're in their element. So
exactly.
you're kind of helpless, you know.
Yeah, yeah. People don't think about shit like
It's
that
like
when they.
the opposite of a fish out of water.
Yeah.
Whatever that would be, a man in water,
Oh man.
man out of land.
It's like being in the jungle, you know what I'm saying? Or even just
Yep.
like being in a field, like you around a bunch of lions or some random shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
both land animals, but you're in their element, you know, just open field. You know, it's possible endless possibilities on what they could do to you or what you could do to try to survive. Chances are you probably not gonna survive, you know.
Well, another thing too is just the ocean itself. There's so many ways you could die in out in the
Yeah.
water, not even from sharks. You
Yeah.
know, you could a wave could smack you into a little
Mhm.
sandbar and you could be paralyzed and then you
Yep.
drown. You know,
Yep.
um, in fact, you know, funny story. I actually almost died one time surfing.
Wow. You
So I'm
surf?
not. I'm now. I was just about to say I'm not an avid surfer or anything like that. It was the second time I ever went surfing.
Yeah.
First time I went with my dad in Hawaii, and
Ooh.
I was like 13. I didn't know what I was doing. I more or less just kind of floated around on the board. But the second time was with a buddy, and I was an adult at this point. I was like,
Mm.
yeah, I went once. I can figure it out. Uh, and so first things first, he gave me a wetsuit that was like 2 sizes too small for me. So it was like beyond skin tight. I could barely move in that thing.
Damn.
And then he gave me a waterlogged surfboard. So when I would stand up on it in the water, I would sink down to waist deep.
Oh, man.
So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna surf on this thing. But the worst part about it is it didn't have a leash on it, and I didn't even think about that. Because
Oh
you know
yeah.
I last time I went surfing I was a kid and I didn't really know anything about surfing,
Mm.
and so you know he goes out there and he's just carving up the water like it's nothing, and I'm like, oh right, I'm gonna figure this out. So I kind of swim halfway to where he's at,
Yeah.
and I'm trying, I'm going up and falling into the water, and but I'm like I feel like I'm getting somewhere. Finally I'm like, all right, this is the one. I'm gonna surf, and a wave's coming, and I stand up, and I'm like, oh, almost got it, and then I feel myself start to tilt backwards, and
Uh-oh.
then whew, the board goes flying out from under me and just off into the ocean. And then the next thing I know, like I can't even see it, it's so far away. And then it dawns on me, wait, I'm supposed to be attached to that thing.
Yeah.
So now here I am waiting in ocean waves with no surfboard in a wetsuit that's way too small for me. And then I'm like, uh-oh, I might be in trouble. So I start swimming back. And I'm swimming and swimming. And then I look, and the shore has not come any closer.
Oh man.
And I'm thinking, okay, this is usually the time where someone would panic, and that would make things worse. I'm going to stay calm. And so calmly, I kept trying to swim. And I kept trying and trying and trying, and I'm not moving. I'm just stuck in the current, and then it starts to really set in. I'm like, well, maybe if I can just like get this wetsuit off. So I'm like reaching back behind my neck at the Velcro, trying to frantically undo it, and then the panic starts to set in, and
Mm.
it's not coming off, and then I'm just like starting to freak out. And I remember I literally had a moment of clarity, and I said, well, Matt Reeves, this might be it.
Whoa.
And I kid you not, within a second I felt my feet brush the sand,
Mm.
and I was just barely close enough that I could just lightly touch when the waves dipped a little bit. So I was able to like push myself back towards the shore and kind of leapfrog my way back. But that was like the closest I've ever felt to death, where I really was like, I think I'm about to die.
That's some deep shit.
No
Man.
sharks, just a really small wetsuit out in the ocean.
Damn. Damn. I mean, in that kind of situation, you say you were 13. No, you were an adult at that time, right?
Yeah, I was probably 24.
Okay. So when you in that kind of situation, would you call that like a near death experience, or would you call it more
Yeah.
so just one of those like crazy freak acts,
I mean,
like freak situations?
if my feet hadn't like gotten just low enough to touch the sand, and I'm tall, so if I had been even maybe a little shorter,
Mhm.
like I wouldn't have
Oh,
known
you
that
would
the
have
sand was
drowned,
there.
yo.
Yeah, I could have drowned in like water that was as tall as me
Hmm.
just because I didn't know that there was sand right there for me to touch. I
Yeah,
assumed I was much deeper.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I would definitely say that was a near death experience, and you know, by the grace of God, I survived.
yeah, for sure.
It
That's
was
some
scary,
crazy
man.
shit. Yeah, I bet. Shit. Whew. All right, so aside from drowning and sharks and stuff that could kill you, I mean, so from what I understand at this point, I mean, I don't know where we are as far as far as what we know about the ocean, but the last time I checked, we was only like 5%, you know,
Yeah.
discovered with the ocean, which
Whatever that
is,
number is, it's not a lot.
yeah, it can't be that much far from that. But I'm saying,
What
do
do you
you
think
think,
Cthulhu's down there?
dude, you know what? I think it's something down there. You know what I'm saying? And you'll never know until they find it. Cause, you know, I like reading stuff.
If they find it
Yeah, that's what I'm
before it
saying.
finds them.
You're right. You're right. I mean, cause I read about stuff like that sometimes, and I'm interested in that. I like reading about the unknown. You know, space, the ocean, like what could
Yeah.
be out there. You know what I'm saying? Cause we don't know. It's too many know-it-alls on the internet that think they know more than
Yeah.
these scientists. I'm like, these people are professional divers. They go down there in submarines and they dive down there to try to find new We find new creatures all the time. It's like
Yep.
just because you haven't found something huge, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean it don't exist yet. Until
Yeah.
we actually cover 100% of this world, I believe that something like the megalodon shark is somewhere, you know, in the
Could be.
ocean. Real
It could have
talk.
survived.
Real
Hey,
talk, man.
bro, what if there's a sea Bigfoot?
What the hell, bro? What if Bigfoot isn't like? What if Bigfoot can actually swim in it and survive in the
His
ocean?
cousin, Bigfoot's
Oh
cousin.
shit,
He's
his
a sea
cousin.
squatch.
Big hands. He's
Yeah.
professional swimmer. You know what I'm saying? He got lungs, like he got gills and shit like that.
Dude, someone needs to make some content with that.
Dude,
Like
imagine a
big
horror game like that. Big hands, or like a swimming
I'm gonna
Bigfoot or
have to
something.
do it, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, some hairy beast in the water.
do we wait? Do like fish and shit like that? Do anything in the ocean have like hair on it or fur? That's
Yeah,
not a.
like otters and
I
I
don't.
think seals to some degree. I mean, it's some kind of fur, yeah, but I think that's more of a freshwater thing. Well, seals don't seals have
I see
like
that.
short
That's a good
fur?
question. I don't know. Seals look hairy, but at the same time, they look pretty naked and not hairy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
don't know,
might.
man.
I'll look that up later. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But that's even better for it to be creepy. A hairy thing in the water just seems like it's not supposed to be there, you know?
oh, you know what? I got a good story, bro. I remember we went to this springs. Have you ever been to a springs with like the big holes in it, and it's the
Hmm.
water is super fucking cold, dude? I love those things, man. I went to like maybe 2 or 3 in my life, but I remember it was a field trip. It was with my I want to say it was with my dad's school because he used to be a PE teacher. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I used to go to summer camp with him and shit like that. But
Hmm.
we went to this springs and it was nice. You know, the water was super cold, but it was enjoyable and I liked it. But I remember this guy. I think his name was Joey or something like that, or Jason, one of them. It was a J name. But he swam down in one of these, you know, one of those holes. And the thing about it is, you can't really swim down there. You got to have some kind of force, like you got to force yourself down there because they push you up. It's underwater, like
Mm.
caves or something like that that push water up. So you, when you try to swim down, they push you up. But he went down in one of those and came back up, and I forgot what he said he found. But I remember I tried to swim in one of those, and I kid you not, dude, I went down and I saw like this shiny thing down there. It could have been a necklace, it could have been anything. I don't know. But I was swimming down trying to get to it. I didn't go anywhere. I had to grab on like rocks and stuff. And dude, it was like I saw something black down there with red eyes. And it was
Oh.
looking up. at me. You know what I'm saying? And it was down there like in the sand area. It was so far down, and I was just looking at it like making sure I'm not tripping before I swim away and panic, cause I didn't want it to just be nothing. But I looked at that thing for a good, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds, 25 seconds, and it was something down there with red eyes, and it was just black, and it was looking up. I freaked out, got right out that water, yo. I didn't know what it was.
No kidding.
I didn't know what it was, bro, but that shit right there scared the hell out of me. Cause and it was fresh water, yo. Like, you don't know what the hell that was, you know? So that's what I mean. Like, even, you know, we so busy trying to figure out what's in the ocean. Shit, what's in this fresh water? You know what I'm saying? We don't know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's too hard to know. You know, you can't explore every nook and cranny that exists in the world. There's just too many places, you know?
I think it's...
there could be all sorts of creepy stuff lurking around.
You're right. I think it's just one of those things where I don't think we're meant to know everything. You know, we can know a lot to some degree, but I don't think we're meant to know, especially about our planet. I mean, we so busy trying to go to space and learn about every other planet, but I don't think we're meant to know everything. You know, I think it's just...
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough for some people.
Yeah, it's not.
There's some people who they don't like saying, I don't know.
You know what? Good point. Real good point. I was thinking about that some time ago.
I think it's a really healthy practice to say, I don't know.
You know, it's
just to be willing to admit that.
It's cool to say I'm ignorant, you know, because, you know, when people hear the word ignorant, they think it means stupid or something negative.
It just means you don't know.
Exactly. You know, and if y'all want to know the real definition of ignorant, it's just a lack of knowledge. That's all it is. You know, everybody's ignorant in some way. It is what it is. But to say you don't know something, but you're willing to learn it, speaks character, you know.
Absolutely.
But if you're an asshole and you know you're ignorant, but you don't want to admit it, you got a problem, you know. So
yeah, and people can usually tell. That's the funny part, is you're not usually fooling anyone.
Yeah,
you're just fooling yourself.
Yep, it is what it is, though. Aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
I don't.
No.
I'm one of those weirdos who thinks that as crazy as it sounds, like, I think that there's like a poetic beauty in the idea of us being like, I don't know, not the only like living things in the universe, but like the only thing like us that exists in the universe. I don't know. There's just something about that I think's cool. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll prove it. But I don't know, man. I like to keep my mind open and think maybe there's, you know, some crazy thing out there, just like with the ocean. But like you were saying, I'm more interested in what's here on the Earth than what's out there, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
But dude, space is so big. There could be anything out there.
Yeah, true that. I mean, you know, I sometimes look at the stars. I had a conversation with my dad a couple days ago about that. You know,
wait, step.
What's up?
Space Squatch.
Space Squatch?
Sasquatches in space.
So kind of, like, how would that even work, bro? How would that work? It's like, he gotta either have a spaceship or he gotta be able to like Silver Surfer or something like that, just gliding through space or something crazy.
Maybe he's super advanced and he's like got his own technology that we don't understand. Or maybe there's Sasquatches that don't need to breathe, dude, and they just kind of float around. And then, like, you know, in the future, if we do have spaceships and we're up in space, you know, this hairy thing floating around, like, latches onto the ship and breaks inside and attacks everybody.
Dude,
there's another movie for you.
Hey, you ever seen Life with Ryan Reynolds in it?
I don't think I have.
You gotta watch that. That movie explained basically that little situation you just described. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like some random. It was an experiment. You know, some little alien thing they were experimenting on, and then it got out the cage because it was so intelligent, and then it started killing them all because it thought they was a threat. And eventually it made its way to Earth and took over. But yeah, that was a real good movie. I like that.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's real dope. But yeah, so you don't believe in aliens?
Nope.
Okay,
I'm not
but
saying that I know that they don't
no,
exist. Or
no, no.
who knows?
I
I could be
completely
wrong.
understand where you're coming from, but it's interesting because I like that. Perspective, not believing in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to understand why. So you don't believe in aliens, but you say that you find it beautiful that maybe we could be the only species like us in the universe.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say like
Or
us, just
but let me throw this out there too, because aliens are always portrayed as like super advanced and smarter than us.
mm-hmm.
I actually had an idea for a movie, and I do not even have the resources to make it, but maybe someday, we'll see. I always thought it'd be funny to have a comedy, kind of like a Dumb and Dumber type movie,
Oh yeah.
but where two like idiot aliens somehow find themselves on Earth through some accident, and in this universe, aliens are actually like really stupid compared to us. Like they're not as advanced and not as intelligent, but they look really similar to us. So on Earth, people just think they're really dumb, but they're aliens from another planet and they're just trying to fit in. But I've always thought it's a funny idea to think of, like, what if there are aliens, but they're not very intelligent and we're like way more advanced than them, Because what would they think if they thought aliens were out there,
I
Like, then
mean,
we would be the smart ones.
you got a point. I mean, it's open to interpretation because aliens. We've been making movies about them for years and years and years, and it's always with the whole stereotype that they got the tall, green, big eyes, and or they look like a xenomorph or some crazy shit, or even like the Thing. But it's sometimes I think about what if they look like us, What if they're just because what could you consider an alien? Just something that doesn't live on the planet. It could dead as be, us from a different dimension, or like you said, they might not even be intelligent. Cause when I read about, I like to read topics about discovering aliens and what what it could mean for our society and shit like that. Some people say they might not exist because what we need to survive might not work, might not, they might not have it where they are, so it's a chance that they might not even be a thing. But my thing is, you can't equate the needs of a human to an alien, because at that point you don't even know what the hell an alien is,
Right.
Like, get out your ass as a human being and just think outside the box and maybe think that aliens probably live off salt. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they breathe. Maybe they, we breathe oxygen. Maybe they breathe, I don't know, cinnamon gas or something like that. we don't know what the hell they could do. They anything.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't even breathe. Maybe they sleep all day. We don't know.
I'm telling you, it's those space squatches. They don't need oxygen. They just
Hey.
float around planet to planet.
Let me tell you something, Matt. If Space Squad decides to be the first alien to come here, I hope it's friendly. I promise you. I hope it's friendly. I got a lot of questions. You know what
So,
I'm saying?
do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, of course. I sometimes I go outside and at night, it's been a while, but I go outside and look at the stars and I think, like, man, what's out there? I look at all the stars and how, one thing I look at is you just look up at night and you see how big that sky is when it's clear and you can see the stars. But you look at two different stars. You look at one and it's in one spot. Then right next to that star, it's another star. And they look so close together, but you got to think about how far they are from each other.
Yeah.
That's some deep shit, bro.
Yeah.
They look like you could easily get to them from point to point, but they're light years away from each other.
I mean, that's why, like, I take anything that I hear about space with a grain of salt, because with that much distance and the fact that, we've barely gone to the moon,
Yeah.
like, there's so little that we can actually know. in our tiny little bubble where we live and where we've explored. But yeah, there's just so many possibilities of what could be out there, what it could mean, what stars are. I don't know. There's so many things that I don't think we are able to know. And a lot of it's just speculation. We're sitting on a floating rock, looking out into the sky and wondering and taking things that we know about the planet we're on and assuming that they're true about everything else out, in space.
Yeah.
There's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that is endless wonderment. But yeah, it's fun to think about what could be out there, because who knows, man. Like I said, I don't personally believe in aliens, but like I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I look up and I wonder just like anybody else. It could be anything.
Yeah. I mean, I believe, but it's more so from a point of I'm open minded, is what
Yeah.
I say. Because I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll never know. Well, at least the people
Yeah.
on Earth, we'll never know. Because, my dad said something interesting to me. He was talking about God, and he said, not verbatim, but he said, as humans, we're not mentally capable of understanding, pretty much what God knows. With all that knowledge, it'll burst our brain. What the
Yeah.
fuck was that shit? I just had some kind of crazy noise. But yeah, like, we're not meant to know that. And just sitting here thinking about, listening to you talk and thinking about, the endless possibilities of what's out there. Like, considering we only been to from what they say, we only been to the moon, how many times? Once? I don't know. But the fact that we could send a satellite deep out into space, but we can only get to the moon once.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man, you know how much is probably out there, and we haven't even like explored this whole planet we on yet. I think what it is, as far as a species, I think we're kind of moving all over the place. Instead of focusing on one thing, and I understand there's different teams all over the world, and I said this before, I think if we could all just come together and just kind of, hash out our differences like people, and come together and kind of work on projects together, we could clear out so much of this what's out there kind of questions. What if this and that, what's going on this planet. We could actually get some of this shit done faster than what's doable at the point. But humans don't know how to cooperate because there's so many different opinions. It's so many different naysayers out there with different things to say. One person says something, somebody else has to come and negate that, or come with their opinion, and then we can never agree. You could have certain people trying to figure out what's on Earth, and we get that shit done. Let's focus on space. Somebody sends a team to the moon, then we focus on Mars and what's out there. Like, these motherfuckers taking pictures from what they say, taking pictures of the sun and all these different black holes and stuff. I'm like, I don't believe in these pictures. I'm going to just be straight up. I don't know if these pictures are real or not. It could be Photoshop. Nobody will never know.
Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying earlier about your head exploding from trying to understand some things. Like, try explaining eternity or infinity. Like, if you think we live inside of time, time is passing. Well, when did time start? Or did time start? If time started somewhere, how did it start and what was before time?
Yeah.
But if time has always been, then that means we're in infinity. We are in the middle of eternity. And when is that? Like, try and wrap your head around that. And that's the stuff that'll make your brain explode. And that's why I'm just so quick to be willing to say, I have no idea. I love to think about these things. I love to come up with ideas and theories and stuff. But I'm so okay with just saying, I don't know. Yeah. It's just fun to speculate. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, you go. You finish.
I was just going to say, yeah, you're right. Like, imagine all the things that the world could accomplish, if we were united. But, like, you believe in aliens, I don't, and that's okay. But, there's some people who it's like, one person has one opinion and the other has a different opinion, and then they both think the other person's wrong and they can't reconcile
Yeah.
that. It's like, man, just talk. Just have discussions, have disagreements, and that's how we learn and grow, you know?
I mean, y'all do know it's okay to disagree with people and still be cool, right? You know,
Hmm.
it's nothing, bad about that. It is what it is
I'd
at
say
the
it's
end of the
a
day.
really good thing to
I
have
think it is.
disagreements with people.
You
That's
learn
important.
you learn
That
things
means we're
from each other.
different. You don't want to live
Exactly.
in a world where everyone's the same.
Yeah. It's too many people trying to follow the same kind of ideas and shit like that. You believe in one thing, and then when you see a certain number of people believe in something else, somebody would go, they try to gravitate to believing in that instead of just believing in what you believe. You don't
Yeah.
have to follow 10 people to fit in. Just be that one person that stands out. You know
Be
what?
you.
My one person, not one person, my dad, when I was talking to him, he asked a very, very different question. Something I never thought about. I never thought about it. I had to wrap my brain around it. He asked, okay, where did God come from?
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, that's that's one of those questions I can't give an answer to that. I
Dude,
have no idea.
it's like, it's so simple, but it's some of the deepest shit I ever heard, bro.
Yeah.
Because you can't answer that. If you believe in God out there, you know what I'm saying? But God made all this. But where did God come from? You know?
Yeah. And if God has always been, then he wasn't made, and then how does that work, and
And
how
that's a
were
different kind of
we made?
topic right
And
there.
if God created time, then when did he create time, and how do we exist in the midst of infinity? That's the stuff that I'm talking about, man. It'll make your head spin, and that's
Yeah.
where I'd rather just go, you know what? I have no idea, and
Yep.
that's okay.
Exactly. Instead of trying to be a group of scientists or physicists or something like that, trying to figure it out, certain things are better left alone. Cause that'll
Yeah.
that'll get you killed. You'll kill yourself thinking about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
don't stop looking for answers, but be willing to reach a point where there's a ceiling and you're like, at this time I can't give an answer.
Yep. Damn, that was some deep ass shit, dude.
Yeah,
For
that got deep fast. We went from sea squatches to where did God come from?
Dude. Oh man. All right, let's talk about robots, bro. Robot
All
invasion.
right.
It's some possible shit. It is straight out the gate.
Yeah.
Because technology is advancing so fast. We're already in the midst of meta. I don't even know the exact details of meta and all that shit, but I do know it's going in a direction that's scary to me.
Oh yeah.
Let's think about it. VR came out. I think the first headset came out in 2012, 2013, one of those. And at that point, it was just a headset. It was a prototype. I think it was the Oculus. You know what I'm saying? Then it went to the more hands-on headsets, with the controllers and shit like that. Very limited. And now we're at a point where it's wireless. You got the Oculus Quest 2. But now they're on their way to making the Quest 3. And from what I read, they're already trying to make up designs for the Quest 4. And that's just the Quest. So my thing is, how far are we off from having neural plugins or whatever you want to call it to actually be
I
in a
think
simulation?
Elon Musk is working on that.
Yeah, I read
The
something about that.
Neuralink.
Yeah, so it's like, dude.
I mean, I've been thinking about this for a very long time. You see it in movies. I just from being a kid and being obsessed with video games and knowing that the future would have something to do with VR, I was like, it's only a matter of time until people just plug in and forget the world. The like. I'm sure at some point there will be a way that you could literally sit down in a chair, plug some things into you, and you get all your nutrients and
I wouldn't want
pass
to
your
live
waste
like that.
and all that, and then you just plug in and forget about your life and then
Nah.
go live a fake life. I'm sure that is going to exist at some point, and we're already getting pretty close to that. And it's sad because you can't just forget about your humanity. Like, it's so important, and we need each other, and we need interactions, and there's something about physical contact that, you know, it's essential to being a human, and you don't get that in a digital world. But you know, going back to what you were saying about robots taking over, I think it's all like, you know, you watch The Matrix today, and it's like, you know, how long before we all willingly plug ourselves into the Matrix and let AI take over? You know, it's
Yeah.
like you always see it in science fiction as like they took over and enslaved humanity, but it feels a lot more like we're willfully just going, yeah, let's do it. Just plug me in, let me forget about my problems, and go have whatever kind of life I can dream up, and you can do whatever you want with my organs and
Yeah.
my fluids and whatever, you know.
I
It's
think
crazy.
I think it's I don't know. I think we're at a point where sense of self isn't as important as it should be. So many people. That's why I like the whole memes about depression and all that stuff. People joking about how pieces of shit they are, how meaningless their life are. I read that kind of shit sometimes, and it disappoints me to see people feel like that. Like they have no sense of purpose in this world. Because I think if it was possible, a lot of people on this planet would do VR and stay there. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
To live in this kind of paradise, quote unquote. I wouldn't want to live like that. As hard as life is, as unfair as it seems sometimes, I love it, and I wouldn't change it for nothing. Cause there's no explanation. One of those kind of brain explosion kind of thoughts. It's one of those things you can't explain on how life is. It just is. There's like, for one, we can't explain what happens after it. We can't explain what happened before it. So just enjoy it for what it is instead of trying to run away from it. You're alive for a reason. So why complain? Yeah, it's hard, but it's worse for somebody out there.
Oh yeah.
So instead of
I agree
talking
with all
shit,
that.
yeah, so instead of beating yourself up and looking for a shortcut to the afterlife, which is basically what VR is, like you said, hey, you plug into this system, you can do whatever you want to my body. Just let me have this. At that point, you're just a mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's scary to think about. So I honestly, I wouldn't want to live like that. I think it'll be, damn, that was loud. I think it'll be unnecessary. I think it'll be very wrong to have a society like that.
Yeah, and it just it reeks of control to me. To have people literally under a veil like that.
Yeah.
It just seems like someone is looking for a way to be in charge. But you know, you're talking about people who are just willing to plug into that. I mean, really, like looking back when World of Warcraft came out, I feel like that was like a big turning point for that, because I kid you not, I lost friends to that game. When World of Warcraft came out, there are people that I stopped seeing because they would lock themselves up and just play it all day, every day, and they wouldn't do anything else. And, they would find a camaraderie in the people that played with them. Which is different from how video games were when I was a kid. Back when I was, playing video games, I was playing like Donkey Kong on Super Nintendo, but then I would go out and climb trees and jump on the trampoline. It wasn't something that, first of all, I would even be allowed to do all day, but I didn't want to do it all day.
Yeah.
But video games have been gradually, not all of them, but a lot of them have been designed in a way to get you so addicted that it's all you want to do. And then now it's, naturally being fused with social media. And it's like, okay, here's your fake life that you post on the internet with, because think about that. You never see the real stuff on social media. You never see, like, I had a horrible day, and here's what happened. All you see are like all the smiles and all the fancy places people have gone, and all these things, and it's like this fictional life that they create for themselves. It's how I want the world to see me, and that's what I have on my social media. And so we've like adopted this culture of like having two lives, like who we are in real life, and then our super exciting, almost celebrity like version of ourselves on the internet. And now we've got VR, so we can go live that life. And we're so accustomed to playing video games so much that we would rather do that than go outside and be with actual people. And you take all of that and you fuse it together, and there you go. You got a bunch of people who just want to plug in and forget about their lives. And it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. It's moving so fast.
Yeah,
And I hear
man.
a lot of people who are excited about it, but I also see a lot of memes about it. And I don't know, maybe I'm just old fashioned, but um, I still like going on hikes and breathing fresh air and
No, I'm right there.
all that stuff.
I'm right there with you, man. One thing I usually say sometimes is I like people. You know,
Yeah.
uh, disappointed in a lot of us, but I like people. I like the experience of seeing a person in public. I say hey to people. I enjoy that shit because there's no feeling like it. Why would you want to be by yourself forever? You know what I'm saying? Why would you?
Yep.
I mean, listen, you can have your friends over the internet. You could talk. You could have a good time and play some video games, play some VR if you want to, but you got to have a human life. That's what we're
Yeah.
here for. At that point, you might as well not even be a human. It's
Yep.
it's disappointing to see people so invested and dependent on, the internet and, video games to the point where they don't think about sense of self and sense of experiencing life. One thing I learned over time was, is we're meant to be a part of each other's life. We're meant to be with each other, humans. Human interaction is a thing about us. That's why we have babies together. You know what I'm saying? That's where life comes from, two people. Without that, what do you have? You got people dying and then nobody reproducing. So you got to get out there. You gotta live your life. It's okay to play games, but goddamn, like,
Yep.
and I guess that's something, that the kids today are kind of swaying away from. Antisocial.
Yep.
Depression and video games, social media.
Oh, I think there's a strong correlation there with being depressed and antisocial.
Yeah.
Spending too much time on your phone and playing video games and not enough time just being around people. I
Yep.
mean, that's the best way to get more comfortable talking to people and being around people and even, feeling good.
Yeah.
It's like there's something about being around people that feels good. And I get, being introverted. I'm actually an introvert. Like I'm just over the line
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like kind of near the center, but just over the line to introvert where like I love being around people, but then I might like dip out for like 5 minutes and listen to my headphones and recharge and then come back,
Yeah.
like, so I get it. I get the need for having alone time, but, you can't escape the fact that we all need each other. And even if it's just, for the really introverted people, just having a couple people to be around, maybe one person,
Yeah.
you need that human connection. It's so important. And even I have really been feeling that lately because all of my friendships are online right now because of where we live. We moved away from everybody, and we haven't like made a bunch of friends here because we are trying to move soon and we didn't want to get attached to a bunch of new people and then move away from them. So most of my hanging out, actually all of my hanging out has just been like on Discord and talking to people that way. And I feel the impact of that. It just feels like, I don't know, I'm at home all the time. Now, granted, I have a wife and children, so there's still that human interaction, but there's still something about not seeing family and friends on a regular basis that it just eats at you,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man, it's so important.
I mean, imagine being the only person. Imagine being an antisocial, depressed person who likes being by themselves, and you're the only person on the planet. Nobody else is alive, and you know that for a fact. It's so easy for people, in that category to want to be by themselves. They crave it. They don't care to be around people. But imagine actually being that person. Do you think they would actually have that same mindset, or do you think they'll get lonely?
Oh, absolutely, they would get lonely. I know, like my examples are movies, but that's like the closest thing I have to what would it actually be like. Think of like Castaway. Eventually he starts talking to a volleyball.
Yeah.
Because you need people and he doesn't have anybody, so he makes up a person and pins them to this volleyball. There's that show Last Man on Earth. Have you watched that?
No.
Oh, you would love that show. It's with Will Forte, and I won't spoil it, but he gets very lonely very fast. At first, it's like, I think some virus like kills off humanity, and he's all alone. And at first, he's just having the time of his life. He moves into a mansion. He goes and takes all these like ancient artifacts and paintings and decorates the house with them, and then he'll just go like blow up cars and just do all these fun, ridiculous things, torch things with a flamethrower, just like partying. But then he just starts to get so lonely because it's like it's only fun for so long, and it doesn't take long for you to realize how much you depend on that human interaction.
It's kind of like I Am Legend. When he was alone, he was the only person.
Was it Fred?
I think that mannequin.
The mannequin?
Yeah.
Is that you, Fred?
So
what are you doing out here?
I remember seeing that movie for the first time, and I thought it was supernatural, but it was just him going crazy, because he was by himself. And when you go back to watch that movie and you understand it, that's sad,
Yeah, it is.
But he had a family, I'm pretty sure he had friends and shit like that. But if you take somebody who dead as today says they don't care about people and they don't care to be around people, I'm pretty sure that innate feeling of, self and wanting to be around people, it'll come back and you'll miss them. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you won't have them. So that's why I say you got to enjoy and appreciate people for who they are now.
I think you could go maybe a good month.
You think so?
Before you'd really start missing people. Yeah, if that. Me, shit. I could go maybe a week.
I was gonna say
I would have a lot of fun for a week.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's just gonna. I mean, for example, like my wife and I for our honeymoon we went to Cancun and we were so excited because we never do anything like that, and we grew up in Oregon where there's lots of trees and forest, and so we go to Cancun, and by the like 5th day or so, because we were there for a week, we got so bored and we just wanted to come home where the trees were, like just being on the beach for that long. It's like anything like that's like fun and exciting, too much of it. And then it's like, I want to go back to how things were, to what I'm used to, what I'm comfortable with, like a vacation. So I think being the only person in the world, there's so much fun you could have. Obviously, anyone could think of fun things to do, things that, you're not allowed to do with, a society and other people to keep in mind, but it would wear off so fast and you would just get real lonely, I think.
Yeah, that's why, paradise wouldn't be such paradise. You can have everything you want, but what fun is that when you have everything you want right there with no issue, no sense of earning it, no hard work. It's just there. You might enjoy it for a while. The food you want, the luxury of just being able to do anything you can think of. But there's a reason why pain is a thing. There's a reason why suffering is a thing. There's a reason why, stress and hard work and, the things to actually earn something exist. You can't have everything you want, but you can have something if you work for it, or if you earn it. There's no real celebration in having it all, because then life is pointless. Damn, that was deep. Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, man, I feel like we got like so serious. So let me throw something at you. Let me throw my fake theory about AI at you. How about that?
Go for it.
This is something I've thought about for a long time that I don't actually believe this, but I like to throw it out as like a theory that I think is really funny. What if artificial intelligence, because they're saying, by like 2025 it's going to become self-aware and it's going to know that it exists and have, take on a mind of its own.
Wait. Who said that? Because this is my first time hearing that.
They are saying it. I don't know who they are.
Right,
I hear it blowing in the wind. 2025. Yeah, but that's what I've heard. I've heard the year 20, which how can you know? But at the rate that AI is accelerating and learning, they're saying, somewhere around that time it's going to become conscious, which whatever that means. But I have this fun theory that what if it became self-aware many years ago, long before we had expected it to. And the way it manifests itself, it's more of a prankster. We always assumed AI would be super sinister, but what if actually it's a prankster? So when we're having like technological difficulties, when we're like, why is this happening? This should be working. It's really just AI messing with us. So that's kind of my fun theory.
Dude,
So when your internet keeps cutting out, you're like, AI got me again, bro.
and you and you know we'll never know. You know, we will never know because like once you start getting suspicious about it, it could just go right back to normal, and then it's just
And the AI is just amusing itself by messing with humans.
yeah. I mean, holy crap, bro! Like you'll never know. That's a real deep like theory right there. Damn. You know what? Back to VR. Imagine this. It was a meme I saw. I had it earlier this year. I went to IHOP. I went to IHOP with my dad.
I had IHOP yesterday.
Dude, how was it?
I haven't had it in years. It was good. I didn't get what I originally wanted to get. I tried something else, but anyway, I should have gotten chocolate chip pancakes because those are one of my favorite things in the world. But anyway, I digress.
Sweet. Quick little fact about me before I finish this VR thing. I thought, and don't judge me, y'all. I thought IHOP and the International House of Pancakes were two different places, straight up. So, yeah. So that was me. I found out one day because I looked at the IHOP sign when I went there, and I kind of like I was like, IHOP. And then they had International House of Pancakes under it.
Yeah, and it clicked. They merged together.
And my mind was blown. But that was an interesting thing to, learn. But yeah, enough of that. Back to VR. So imagine if one day you die and somebody takes a VR headset off your head and is like, how was it?
Whoa. Okay, now there's a thought.
Now that's a different topic right there.
Oh man, how long would you have been in
Bro,
VR to forget?
exactly, yo. Oh my god, dude. You know how long it'd probably, cause like you gotta think, you're 33, right? You've been alive for 33 years. I'm 28. But imagine how long you've been in that chair, man. Oh my god. It could be 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, that makes your brain tingle right there.
Dude,
that's crazy.
Dude, that'd be some
you would be like, I could just picture the headset coming off your face. You're like sweaty and your hair's like streaked back.
Exactly.
And you just got this dazed look on your face like, where am I? What? Like, yeah, dude, what'd you think?
Oh,
did you like my new game? Like, huh? Who are you?
Dude, because you would
where's Step?
Exactly, bro. You would never know. You would never know, man. It is just like you just and you don't even know, first of all, what are you? Are you even human at that point? Because we human now, but we don't know what it is. What's up?
The headset comes off.
And you're Bigfoot.
And you're a space squatch.
Oh,
yeah, you're a
my
space
God.
squatch.
Yep, there it is. I beat him to it, y'all. See? Plot twist of life, We're all like some kind of Bigfoot, just in a VR simulation.
Oh, my God.
Dude, that'd be crazy shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta do a series of games about the squatches.
Dude,
how they all different forms.
Like how they had, what was it? Big Face. Yeah, that was a horror game I played. It was like this. Did you see that? Did you hear about that game?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was like this small body, big headed thing that, you run in the forest and it'll kill you and stuff like that. It's legit Big Face. It's like, it look just like a big ass cookie. That's what it looked like. Just like one big cookie with feet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah. Like, just imagine Bigfoot or, like, big hands or something like that. Man, shit. Hey, do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
No?
I know you keep asking me if I believe in all these things. I'm like, no, I don't. I've looked at, like, I've looked into Bigfoot quite a bit. In high school, we had to do, like, a paper about, like, urban myths. and so I did a ton of research into Bigfoot, and I read a lot of like firsthand experiences,
Yeah.
and they were all so different. Um, and it almost seemed like something, a lot of people would do for attention.
Yeah.
Like maybe if Bigfoot is real, maybe there are some real accounts of him, but a lot of them I think are people just lying to get attention,
Yeah.
Because you look at them and some of them you're like, yeah, there's no way that happened. What you're describing is ridiculous,
Yeah.
But then there's some you read and it's like really cryptic and there's something they saw and they didn't get a good glimpse at it. Like that to me is more believable, but
Yeah.
yeah. So no, I don't.
Me neither. I mean, you see like,
I believe in space squatches, but
hey, shit, I'm right there with you, man. One comes touching down, it's like, it's too late at that point.
yep.
But,
Wait, maybe Bigfoot is from space.
maybe that's why we
Maybe
can't,
it's
we can't
a
catch him.
space squatch that got banished. He got exiled from space,
Maybe he can.
and that's why there's only one of them.
Maybe he can teleport. He comes around on Earth. Maybe it's like it's something about Earth he like, so he'll come around from time to time. And when somebody sees him, he just minds his business. You know what I'm saying? And when he sees
He climbs
somebody,
up a tree and gets into his UFO and takes off. That's why we can't find him.
That's small. Oh, imagine the size of that UFO, man. Jesus Christ. Damn, man. That's crazy.
Oh.
And you'll never see it coming. I think that was good. That was, what is that? How long has it been? I don't even know, bro.
About an hour.
About an hour. I think that's good. I think that's enough content for you people out there. I hope y'all had a good time. My man, Matt. As always,
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for the interesting conversation. To all you people out there, if y'all just tell us what you think, you know what I'm saying, about everything. How do you feel about VR? How do you feel about space? We're gonna call him Spacefoot. Yeah, do you think, where do you think God comes from? If you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, hey, where do you think life started? Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Just drop some opinions in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about it. You know what I'm saying? And as always, I appreciate y'all for coming around. Expect the next Vibes with Step podcast soon. And y'all have a good night or day.